Let's see. So many different creatures live in this part of the world. The world needs saving. Make the most of the day. You move with such confidence. How far underground do you think you are? Just a few moves left. Make them count. Ching! Might keep you dry, at least. Hey, nice shot. Muscles like steel. Not going to happen with your key energy level. Some things will sleep soon. Others are waking up. Toxanol's offshore drilling caused oily matter to... You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. He's got the goo glide functional. You'll have a pull hook and a salvage net, but no armor, and an engine strong enough to break through the thick goo further out. There are lots of valuables left behind on the surf floor that the salvage net will enable you to haul. You just need to find the right spots. Goop says Gizmo's devised a cannon for the goo glide, but instead of bullets, it flips quacks, squeaky distractions for the triple attentive porky puff, which will give you time to get yourself in position. This means you'll have the privilege of visiting Gulp in the Sinky Dink. He'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find quacks. He only knows what's visible to the naked eye. Gulp is not much of a babbler and mostly keeps to himself. the dawn never come. Welcome to the Surf Archipelago, where the horizon rests on the surfy goo. You're poking around Hockbur, a prime village. This here is the Sinky Dink, home of Gulp, at the very least.
Ja!
Let's see. He's pretty sure he's heard of you before, although the details are maybe a little hazy. He wonders if you have something for him to drink. Points out that he's hungry too, but always thirsty for more. Says you look like you've got a powerful thirst to do something in this world. Good, bad, not really sure, but it seems like you've been drinking in your destiny and liking the flavor. Wonders if you could take the time to help a man slake his own thirst. You'd be doing him a liquid solid. You're a Either way, he hopes you find a way to wet your whistle before the world comes to an awful dry end and leaves us all thirsting for more. Says life. Sure, but wants to raise a glass to you getting the world fixed up a bit. Respects how you always try to help, no matter that the world's fate is hard to swallow. Sees why you joined up with the Myriad. They like a peaceful drink, just like you. Says he sells them drinks. But who cares? Says you'd be as bummed out as him if you came for the hot stuff. Without a drink, and radium syrup especially, he can't. The drink helps him forget the state the world is in, but it only lasts until tomorrow. The world is still doomed, even if the sun goes up. He wants you to know he has other interests too. He's the Surf Archipelago's self-proclaimed ornithologist, for example. Watching Pippi's flap is calming, but better yet are the ones you... They're better at float. Didn't have much else to say. Better get a move on if you want to change things. The Quack Hollow. It's just loonly. That was fun? Best climbing today. The right key could open this. Use a machine gun when shooting in the dark. It's time to do what's right, for certain values of right. Dust it off and start cutting. Nothing like a good length. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Any plans for what to make? No more goo glue. That's Goops. After that, Out of Date started using his head instead of his legs and came up with the plan on how to best make a stand against the World Eaters, and it wasn't by foot. He seems happy to talk. Heard you met the Old One himself. What a character he is. So grateful that you're building things up instead of knocking them down. Wishes you goodbye. He seems happy to talk. Says you'll see. It's awful bright out today. Ride it like a rocket. Maybe do that again later. Static. Let's see. Smells like seaweed. Let's see. Wouldn't want to be behind that. you have a chance to change the future for good or bad. It's an undersurfer, all alone without anyone in it. Yet. You can never have too much scrap, plastic or otherwise. Brace yourself. It's the porky puff nibbling bug. It took quite a liking to the crunchy stuff after munching down out-of-date's leg. Unleash the quacks. Ain't that cute? A 2-bit playing with quacks. Can you feel it? It's the brisk wind of change. Don't let this opportunity slide. He thanks you for dealing with another World Eater. You're halfway there.
Hello, firma Gatano Shubudo, Mulekan Frifgels.
He's got word Out of Date spotted Looper Lupin and has a feeling your time has come. He hopes you're up for it.
Lapanen aginkan man.
Even though you're good-hearted, you shouldn't miss this opportunity to confront the predator.
Galawadai, Guinea firma Gatano Shubudo.
Just head back to the foot of the tree. Fingers crossed Looper Lupin will stay put until you're there. Good thing you're not claustrophobic. Out of Date says the time has come for you to reconcile with your past. Looper Lupin is still staying in the camp where he was brought up. He hopes you'll find the answers you are looking for there. Even though darkness is a part of your nature, he suggests you try to keep your cool, as the best fighter is never angry. He'll point you in the right direction, but the rest is up to you. This part of the journey is one you'll have to do on your own. Looper Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Out of Date hopes you'll find your way and the answers you were looking for once you're there. He knows he said it before, but the time has come to put an end to the Lupin's reign of terror. You should get over there, come face to face with destiny. It's going to be you against the Lupin. No rules. He's happy to help. There's a lot more space down here than you would think. Well, scrap's great for building things. Looper Lupin says he's been looking forward to this moment. He wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Looper Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last. That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again, and you'd eventually remember where you came from. Just so. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature, and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. No. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Fate. The tribes need someone to unite them. Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east. Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped. Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared. Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. The light of day shows how bad the world has become. Things seem simpler now. This area is biocontaminated. It's really hazardous. The day is getting on. Vump is the place to be, obviously.
قالوا لي صوتوا ما كانت
It's good someone else can use your old stuff. Came out on top. Nothing like a story with an unexpected ending. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? This region is known as the Canupstonies. You can't find a harder place in the world. Always good to have some wood scrap like that on hand. History is nothing but a series of stories. Ah, the Gnote pen. Nocco never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Let's see. Too bad you don't have working wings.
Kuri kumbala muma. Inadabsunka?
Nook,
Domale tuk. Kanorota.
she wonders if you remember her. She's Nocco. She let you ride her Mutant when you were a kid.
Domale tuk.
Nocco remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark.
Anora kapapum.
But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going.
Masan maltere?
Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too, since it's taken so many of her innocent gnotes as prey.
Taifanamenuma? Drumblene marsamon.
Nocco remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be.
Tropalo. Ditsentede. Tukonda.
She sees you're back to buck with Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least.
Vaseno kasaman veru amun.
She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still.
Kamonu. Pala. Amun. Ditsentede.
Nocco says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like, until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here.
Monidasa.
Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupin to pay for what he did to her gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
The light shines on!
Better isn't the word I would use.
Right, not better. Best.
You're the worst.
The worst of being the worst. We're just the best.
Ferena masalapu. Amun.
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones.
Monidasa.
You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can.
Anaro lute. Andro?
So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the gnotes die with it.
Andro? Anaro lute.
Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out.
Asadurutu.
Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights too.
Kala kuri kumbala muma.
They're just so shiny, makes her smile to think about them.
Asadurutu.
But let's not speak of that now.
Asilnatu.
She has an idea where the Mutant might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Mutant Meadow.
Kanamunt. Kanyala notoro. Inyada aldo.
The Mutant will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you.
Kamonu.
You should lead the Mutant back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater.
Boilakudo.
It's the most magnificent creature she's ever encountered. A creature straight out of a dream or story. This story is as powerful as you'll let it be. You found the Majut meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Bangarang! Molecule. Every day is a new chance to fulfill your destiny.
Kamonu, Kanamunta.
Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm, but Noko is still concerned.
Sana yode.
She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down.
Kala, Anaro lote.
The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down.
Dere Kala, Inyava Aldo.
She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time.
Andro, Bendrine Senema. Andro?
She figures the choosies from the old world are made from gummy trees, but wouldn't be surprised if they were actually made from some chemical concoction, though. Let's see. No time to graze, let's go. Locked. Heroes are only heroes for others, but they do the work, or they're heroes to no one. Oh, it's locked. You flick the switches in order to green-light the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. Cranks like these usually need to be wound to operate the dispenser. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Wind the cranks to operate the dispenser. Wind the cranks to operate the dispenser. What you see is what you get. Once it's out of the blind box, that is. Such a soggy day. With its attention diverted to the chewy bonbon gummy, the Majut calms down. But Noko is still concerned. She's relieved the Majut has calmed down, but you'll need a heavier sit-tight to ride it than the one she's got. The only sit-tight she can think of that would be heavy enough is one she's spotted mounted on an old-world mecha-Majut. It's a seat you fasten on the back of a mount to safeten up your ride. It can become quite bumpy and risky without. Just be glad that beastie let you on. You finally found the village of Bumlidoff. The vendor says you can... Says this... Says you should take care. The light's coming back. The Smilo Shopperia. Guess shopping here put a smile on your face. Such a treasure. Eye boxes like this are few and far between. However, that's no great loss. Talking pictures from the aforetimes lack the message. Locked up tight. The world is taller than you think. The right key could open this. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Now hold on. You need to loosen the bolts without rattling the mechanism. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's it. The sit-tight is loose. Time to stop horsing around and get the sit-tight back to Nocco. When you're in the mountains, everything seems so far away.
Kanyala no toro. Vase no kasaman warut.
Now that the Majut's got a mouthful of bonbon gummy and the brand new sit-tight is in place, the Majut is ready to ride.
Doma le tuk. Vase no kasaman warut.
Nocco's been training another fantabulous little critter that'll hopefully become a distraction for the hoof puff when you confront it.
Monibasa dropalo. Kudutuku.
She's called them glitter moths, and the best way to find them is to go talk to Mito. She's asked him to keep them somewhere safe.
Anoraka papum.
You'll find Mito at Brightlight. He's a light-headed fellow, but hopefully he'll remember.
Monibasa.
They're small airborne creatures with bright reflective wings and a conspicuous fluttering flight. This could be the beginning of the end of everything.
Sai Gandum.
Let's see. With the world getting darker by the day, there's not much time left to save it. And even though you've just met, he feels you're bound to play a huge part in that. Says there's so much darkness to deal with. Rather than curse it, he makes lamps to fight it. You've found your way through the darkness. You shine like the sun in the sky, but will you use that power to warm the world or burn it? Hopes you see how much good you can do with power like that, and how easy it is to let it drive you mad. No matter where your path takes you, though, it's important to remember where you came from. The past brightlights the present. Wonders if you know how much of an effect you've had upon the world. Your presence changes things like light changes darkness. Did you realize that when choosing where to shine? Says he can see that in the way you brighten everything up. So happy you know you're helping brighten the world. There's plenty of it that's still worth saving. Whatever happens to the world, you shone as bright as you could. That matters more than you know. Says you did the right thing in taking up with the Myriad. They buy lots of his lamps. That's a tribe that believes in the bright things in the world. It's clear you do. Nothing shines as bright as being right. Says he can see by the twinkle in your eyes that you're not here to talk about your allies. He assumes you are here to be enlightened. He can't blame you, as everything just feels dark and hopeless these days. There's something about you, like you're knit together. Your fate's connected. What you've said, he feels too. So why not call him Me Too? He senses you're like the dayfly, living every day like it's your last, afraid that when night comes, it might be proved right. Believes no one is entirely dark. Even the worst have a spark of good in them.
Don't go boy game.
Mito says he's not only into those who shine bright, he likes things that glitter too.
Boy, Jaja Sendiri.
He reckons you haven't seen a glitter moth and says it's about time you did. Even though they're nesting near gone grass, they never run out of glow.
Joko.
Finding yourself a glitter moth would give you that glimmer of hope you need to continue all the way to the end.
Zaigandom.
Glows with delight at your bright passion for the light. Pick up the pace race. Ooh, a biohazard like that can make you real sick. That place there's a real fixer-upper, not an entirely lost cause. Your destiny waits on the path you'll take to avoid it. Like walking down a trail. A fresh start with fresh scrap. You're here for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what that is. Glittermoth Cave is right here.
Andro?
That's enough glitter moths to make her plan work.
Minalagi mamuru.
She wants you to stop worrying about the paths you've ridden and focus on the inevitable road ahead, the one that leads to confrontation with the World Eater. The hoof puff is evidence of the duality of evolution, utterly beautiful and grotesque at the same time. She means that the hoof puff has had more time to eat at the root as it's been isolated in the Knoopstonies mountains. So it reminds her of the gnotes and, like them, it's hoofed. They're just a lot bigger. Don't hug your mount. It's not your friend. Check out that e-waste. That's a good find. Time for another day to begin. That might come in handy. Got a jet. Growl it into a higher gear. You've stumbled into the mushy-mosh mire, where the risk of getting forever stuck